Hello guys, and welcome back or welcome to my channel. And today we are doing a gear review. So specifically we are reviewing the foil that I'm currently using for slalom. And yeah, this is a Boss custom foil. It's a 5.0, so fifth version of this foil, and I've been using it for the past 2 months. So I finally feel that I have enough knowledge, enough experience in all sorts of conditions with various wings, various fuselages, and various sails to do a good and thorough review of this foil. So yeah, looking into the package that comes when you buy a foil, you get the full foil with really nice covers for the mast, covers for the front wing, and covers for the back wing that are really good quality, and they protect your foil on the beach or in the car when you are transporting it. Here, as you can see, is the foil. Here is how it looks. Let's start with the mast because that never changes. This mast is a 95 cm long mast, and I've ordered it with a 2-degree rake back. So basically the mast, if you insert it to this nice little support ledge, it's raked back from the board at 2 degrees. When you measure it at the fuselage, it's roughly around 2.6 degrees raked back. So this is an angle that I really like. This is an angle that I feel comfortable at sailing in various conditions, from light to really rough. And yeah, that's why I ordered it at this angle. But basically, if you're ordering, you can choose and ask for any angle that you prefer. So stiffness wise, obviously I cannot really show you how stiff it is, but it is definitely the stiffest mast I ever used while foiling, and I've tried out quite a few foils. I tried out previous versions of the Boss foil, and it's stiffer than those. I tried a Starboard IQ foil set, a few sets actually. I've tried Exploder, and I've tried a few other foils, and yeah, I can definitely say this is definitely the stiffest foil. I had the only comparable ones, I would say, that I cannot say if it's more stiff or less stiff. I guess you'd have to try it. It's an F4 foil, a new F4 foil. It seemed comparable in stiffness as well. Nothing else really felt at a similar level. And if you're sailing in light winds and flat water, you might not feel the need for stiffness or the advantages of it so much. But once you get into higher speeds, especially in slalom foiling and more swell, that's where a stiff mast really matters a lot, and it gives you a lot more control compared to a mast that is not so stiff and is bending and twisting, which are both bad things. Then another thing that does not change whatever setup I use is the back wing. I'm using a 44 cm long, wide back wing, and I use the same back wing in all conditions with all different front wings, with all different fuselages. And I think they are planning to come out with two different, a bigger and a smaller back wing. But for now, this is the only one I'm using it. And when I try out the different ones, I'll let you know how they feel. And now let's talk about the fuselage. So as you can see here, I have two different fuselages, and now I'm kind of aligning them at the mast. And one is 100 cm, and the other one is 112 cm long fuselage. Obviously, the longer the fuselage is, the more powerful usually it is. And especially the important thing is how far forward from the mast is the front wing. So basically the distance between the beginning of the fuselage and the first screw of the mast is the important bit. And before we go into talking about front wings, which is where most of the magic happens and where you change them the most, let's talk about the connections of all parts and yeah, how they are connected. The front wing is connected to the fuselage with three Torx screws, 6mm wide, I believe. This is the 460 front wing, and if we compare it to the 600 area wing or 800 area wing, the span, the width of the wing in this way is significantly shorter. It's significantly more narrow than the bigger wings. But basically here, the Boss Customs, they have really smart system. So you can easily put on wings of different width onto the fuselage and the connection stays the same. So there is no worry with that. Everything is compatible to each other. The mast connects to the fuselage with 3 screws from the top, and that's it. There are no side screws. Reliability wise, I've used this for 1,200 kilometers, I think, this year already, in various conditions, like pushing a lot. I'm 95 kilos, big guy. I put down a lot of power through the foil, and the conditions here like were really rough, you know, up to 25 knots and 1.5 meters swell that I've used the foil in extreme range, and yeah, it held up, and I didn't have any problems with it. So I think this connection is secure enough. Then if we move on and talk about the back wing connection, as you can see, it is tightened with 2 screws directly to the fuselage. And the way to adjust the back wing is to put down various nuts or shims, I forgot how they're called, under the back screw, the round things. You get them in complex with the foil when you order it, and there are different thicknesses, so you can play around with them and adjust the back wing angle depending on your preference. And finally, a cool thing about this foil is that the mast has this little round ledge going around it. So basically, you know how much you need to put in the foil into the board, into the box of the board each time, and the angle of the rake of the foil each time it will be the same. So yeah, I think this is really useful, because then you don't need to worry and measure the angle of the rake of the foil every single time. As long as there is no gap at the front and there is no gap at the back, you know that the angle will be correct. If you order it at a certain angle and then later you discover that actually you prefer a different angle, then you can still change the angle how you would with any other foil by putting shims under the front or under the back. So now let's talk about the setups that I use. So we have the 460 wing, the roughly 600 and roughly 800 wing, 70, 80 and 90 centimeters wide. So I use the 460 with the 100 cm fuselage in really strong winds. So when I'm super powered up on the 7.8, and like I'm always powered up, never missing any power on the 7.8, then I can go on the 460 wing with slalom and be powered enough. The biggest disadvantage of that wing is that it's really hard to make jibes with it since it's so small. It doesn't provide you a lot of lift, so it means you need to keep a lot of speed through the jibes so that you stay in the air. Then my favorite setup and the most universal setup is the 680 cm wide front wing with the 100 cm fuselage. I think this is what will work for most people in foil slalom in a wide range of conditions. And I use that, yeah, with 7.8 most of the time whenever it's somewhere, let's say around 12 to 15 knots, 16 knots. That's the setup that I'll use. Finally, I have the 91 wide 800 wing. This wing I can use with both the 100 cm fuselage. So if I think that the wind might be picking up, maybe it's gusting to the stronger side, then I'll use this wing with the 100 cm fuselage, or I can use it also on the 112 cm fuselage. So if it's super light, really on the edge conditions, struggling to get planing, dropping down to 5 knots, I'll use this wing with a 112 cm fuselage to get the maximum power in light wind. All in all, I think this is a perfect foil slalom set. 3 front wings, 2 fuselages, and you cover all the conditions from 5 knots up to 25 knots if you take like a 7.0 sail. And yeah, and you can be comfortable in all of those conditions on a slalom foil. If you are looking for more budget-friendly option and you don't want to buy all of the set, I would recommend starting obviously with this mast, then get a 100 cm fuselage and 600 wing for starters. That will allow you to cover the widest range of conditions, and then you can play around with the back wing angle a little bit more to gain or reduce the power depending on the wind conditions. And yeah, that will cover you for like really wide range of conditions. And then if you want to have better low wind performance, then I also suggest buying the 91 cm wide wing, which is really powerful. And even with the shorter fuselage, you can get going really early and have decent speed. With regards to the sails with which I use the foils, so if I'm using the 460 wing, I'll use the 7/8 sail. I haven't tried the 7/0, but it should work with a 7/0 foil sail as well and give you more speed. With the 600 cm wing, so far I've only used the 7/8 as well. I think it might be possible with a 9/0, but I would need to test that option a little bit more. And these both options go with the 100 cm fuselage. And finally, with the 91 wing, I'll always use a 9/0. Although I tried it with 7/8 and it's a nice, easy combo. Basically, if you just want a more free ride, you can go with a bigger wing and smaller sail. That's definitely possible, but it will not be the fastest option for slalom foil. If I'm using the 91 cm wing, then I'll use it either on the 100 cm fuselage or the 112 fuselage, and a 9/0 sail works perfectly with both. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope this was useful for you guys. Some info about the specific foil, some info about the foil trimming. Let me know if you have any questions about the foil in the comments below, or how to trim the foil, and I'll try to answer them all. And let me know what other sort of gear reviews you'd like to see on this channel. So thanks for watching, and see you next time. Adios.